Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Howard. Well, we have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. And I say every week until the Celtics season begins, and maybe after that, we start with the Boston Celtics. And this week, look, it's just a party, and we're
It's a
about
party.
it's a never ending party. We have to reach to find things. This week is the Jordan Walsh, the 15th man on the team issue. Jordan Walsh, who we know, again, I just want to stress, fellas, is a second round pick. And we'll start with Joe. Joe, Jordan Walsh is a second round pick. There's no expectations
No,
that
no,
he's going to be a
I mean,
legitimate player.
if he gives you something, it's good, great, but don't expect it.
But Timmy, for a second round pick, how much have we heard about Jordan Walsh in the last freaking year?
They got him for his defense. Anything on top of his defense is, they were hoping they can turn him into a 3-point shooter too, right? What's the Celtics calling card? Defense, hit threes.
But you can't be just a defensive only guy. Tony Allen, the Tony Allens of the world have no value anymore, right, Joe?
Now, well, there is a certain amount of value. You keep one on your bench just in case, but they're hoping Jordan Walsh would turn into a Neesmith type, like Neesmith has turned into in Indiana. We didn't have time to let him develop.
Yeah,
and he got us something to trade.
What did I miss on Jordan Walsh?
Well, first of all, let me just.
He's been pumped.
I just want to talk about. Let me finish with Neesmith. Neesmith was like the 13th pick in the draft, so a lot different than
he was a lottery pick. Yeah.
So Jordan Walsh, to me, they thought that he was going to. He played well in the G League. Like Joe said, he has good size, and they thought that year two, they'd make a leap. In the summer league, other than the last game he played, he was horrific. I mean, terrible. Couldn't hit a shot.
It didn't look like he knew what he was doing.
And for
defensively or just offensively?
Both.
Offensively for the most part.
Because defense is his calling card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess so. But I mean, again, like we just said, that I don't know if you ever get off the bench, maybe for like a couple minutes, if it's just defense now.
Yeah. Yeah, because role players don't get a lot of shots anyways. What are you going to get? 4 or 5 shots tops. Right. You're not expected to shoot the ball. You're expected to go and hustle, play D, rebound, and if the ball comes your way, you got to make make the best of your opportunity.
If Jordan Walsh made an appearance in a regular season Celtics game, I'd be shocked if he threw up more than 3 shots in the time he's out there.
Yeah. Well, that's not his job,
Yeah.
But we're in a unique situation as we stand today. We have these incredible players, and everybody has incredible skill sets, and they're all shooters. They can hit from 3-pointers. Yes, Jordan Walsh is never going to see any minutes on a team like this. Not this year, nor the next year. So ultimately, he has no value to the Celtics because 2-3 years down the road, he's going to probably be on another team.
Well, he might have a little trade value, Scotty.
I mean,
then you can dump him for something.
A rebuilding team. You know what I mean? I mean,
if he shows get another second round pick,
no, we might get maybe not a draft pick, maybe a piece that maybe somebody gets injured or something like that. I don't know. I haven't watched the summer league, so I don't know.
But the problem is you cannot trade Timmy. He has he probably makes a couple million a year.
Yeah,
it's all you're getting back.
Yeah. It's a salary swap. That would not have any value there.
Yeah, the Celtics going forward, their hands are going to be tied as far as trading.
I mean, he was getting some pretty good pub there for a while, right? I mean,
yeah, well, nobody loves.
Yeah, but nothing in reality because we never saw him play.
Yeah,
We
just heard there was this Dennis Johnson II waiting in the wings, defensive type, right?
Yeah.
Or who else? They compared him to somebody else defensively. Somebody who was very good. I remember, like he he came in with a great defensive reputation, right?
Well, and he's a great athlete. He can jump through, jump right out of the gym, and he's fast. He's very athletic. It's just he's got to turn that athleticism to a few marketable skills in the NBA. In the NBA, you got to have certain things that keep you on teams. And right now, he doesn't have anything that keeps him on a team.
No, he's a project.
Do you think he makes the squad, Scotty?
Well, I mean, I think he's a 15th man on the team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
look at how much Jaylen Brown has improved. His deficiencies.
Well, Jaylen Brown was the third pick in the draft.
Yeah, but they can improve. People can, if you have that raw athleticism and you will go out and take 1,000 jumpers a day, you got, maybe he might get better. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen enough from him to really. Well, they tearing it apart in the papers. Or?
Yeah, well, no, they're just that was probably the headline when you talk about the Celtics, right? Would be the George Marsh. I mean, because
he didn't look good. They want him to be a 3-and-D type guy. That's what they want.
Yeah,
that's what they want from their role players, 3-and-D.
Yeah,
and he seems to think he's kind of at odds with them. He thinks he wants to be like a point wing type, pass the ball, set up the offense, that kind of thing. And they don't need that. That's fine at the main level. They don't need that at the NBA level.
Well, I'll imagine Missoula will set him straight.
He said Missoula set him straight on that. Missoula came to him and said, "No, we want 3-and-D."
Yeah, this is your role. This is what you work on, and that's it.
This is how you go. That's how you're going to stay.
Yeah, take 1,000 corner threes a day. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a great segue into our next subject. Does Joe Mazzulla get enough credit for the championship?
I think he's been getting. I've seen quite a few articles. Yeah. There's a lot of very, very, very positive things on YouTube. He's had interviews and things like that. It's like people are looking at him sideways. He's kind of out there with his philosophical thoughts and a little bit, but it worked. It does take a special guy to handle this many superstars on one team.
That's a great point to me. In a team that has this many big names, the coach is going to get kind of lost in the shuffle, right?
Brad did not do well with it, right?
No, well, Brad, Brad was a college coach.
And Brad
didn't have this kind of team. He kept badgering Danny to get him this kind of team, so that when he became boss, he got his coaches the kind of team.
We had Kyrie, who was the massive variable thrown into that mix too.
Well, that was Danny Ainge bringing him. Danny was chasing Kyrie for years.
We saw what Kyrie did to us the year or two before that in the playoffs. We said, why can't we get guys like that?
Well, that's always been the big mistake, right? Epstein made that a lot with the Julio Lugo and
Rent-a-Rex
and Crawford, right?
Crawford, yeah. I mean, I was so happy when we got Crawford.
Because he was just made for that indoor.
But he used to kill us. He would kill us.
What was that? Did he steal six in one game against us?
Yeah, I was excited too. And just who was a bigger disaster, Carl Crawford or Sandoval?
Sandoval. I'd say Sandoval was Sandoval was just
he never did nothing.
Disaster. Yeah.
It was just embarrassing.
I mean, do you remember the year we got Crawford? How excited we were going into that year?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Gonzalez.
What was that outfield? We had Gonzalez. We had Crawford. That's why John Henry won't spend any more money because of that year.
Well, that's why Theo kind of left. He said, I just got to keep feeding the monster," was his term. I got to keep making news, and keep doing this every year, and so it's not getting any better.
We had a great outfield. On paper, we had a great outfield the year.
No, Gonzalez was a first baseman.
Yeah, but who else was in the outfield that year?
Oh, I don't remember. I just want to mention that Gonzalez was traded, and the guy that was traded for him was Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah. So I remember that.
He had a decent career.
Rizzo, really good career.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to have had him.
He won a World Series with the Cubs, right?
Yeah, he's been fantastic. I'm not borderline a Hall of Famer, but he's got huge numbers. He's put up some big numbers for a player. Maybe bigger numbers than Gonzalez ultimately, I think. Gonzalez just wasn't made for this city.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
Gonzalez probably have more hits,
Yeah. But remember
but
Gonzalez said
Rizzo
that,
more power, more base.
Gonzalez was a top 5 hitter in the league
yeah.
at one point, right?
Yeah, and he used to get like 150 hits every year, you know.
But he was so slow.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. He was almost as slow as Tristan Cases. Almost.
But
All right,
we were excited to we were excited to get him.
Tristan's been getting a lot of criticism of late.
Oh, he sure
We,
has.
we should have said Mike Lowell back in those days.
We're going to mention Tristan because we're going to the Red Sox. First of all, congratulations to Alex Cora. Well deserved. 3-year extension.
What?
21 million.
Scott Kerman saying nice things about.
Look,
Alex
I said
Cora.
they should sign him. I've been saying that.
Hey, if you do a good job, you do a good job.
Timmy, sports is a fluid situation, as is life. And so I just go with the punches here. I've been saying, and again, do you remember my picture a few months ago with Alex Cora? Both parties were smiling a lot. We were smiling. We're happy we've made up. Look, he's done a great job, and you can't. I mean, you can't get rid of a manager who's doing a great job. I've never heard of that before.
I can't believe they're 54 and 47 right now. I cannot believe with that lineup and the pitching staff that they have. I cannot believe it.
It's unbelievable. The crappy players that they've had come through that door, and that still I have a locker, is extraordinary, Joe, right?
Yeah, and I got to say, he did a great job last year with that. Somehow he makes those bullpens work, and those guys stink, most of them.
Oh, my God.
There's probably going to be 20, 25 guys come through that play in that bullpen this year on that team. Most of them just didn't belong to begin with.
No,
but somehow he puts the 9 innings together. He gets the 27 outs.
What happened to the days where we knew every guy on that pitching staff like the back of our hand?
Well,
Those days are gone.
I mean, no, I mean, they could come back again. I mean, I think that Cora has done a really good job, which he's been criticized for in the past with the young guys. And I think he does such a good job with the Spanish guys. A guy like Erod, if you remember, would only play for Alex Cora.
Yeah.
Duran, another Hispanic guy.
He's done a great job.
He's made that a night and day transition with Duran.
I thought Duran was an American kid.
He was born in America. His father's Mexican, his mother's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
He speaks fluent Spanish.
Joe, that's a great point. I mean, what he's done with Duran and the way he babies him and he handles him with care. And Duran is you could argue he's the best player on the team, right?
Yeah. Oh, he definitely is the MVP. Definitely.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, we would have sold him for a bag of balls.
Well, I'm not completely. I mean, and I've had problems with Devers in the past. Devers has been very good.
Yeah.
Put up some big numbers this year. But yes, I think Duran has been the best player on the team. And that's unbelievable. From 2 years ago, where he let a ball go over his head, he stood there, watched it go over his head, and didn't even turn around.
His excuse was Verdugo had a better chance at the ball than I did.
And he didn't even try.
Yep.
And now you've got to, I'm Mr. Extension. You have to extend him, right?
He's fairly old too. What's he like, 27, 28?
I don't know why Russ says that all the time. It's 27. How's that old?
Well, usually when a guy's only been in the league two years, he's 22, 23, That's why he seems older. But how old was Wade Boggs when he came up? He was
God, probably older than that, Joe. I bet you.
Yeah, I bet you.
Yeah. I mean, Duran, Timmy, you extend Duran, right? You have to.
Well, he's like a fragile piece of crystal, Scott. Things could go horribly wrong too.
I know.
I mean, there's variables in there. I mean, do you want to maybe extend him a couple of years? I mean, I don't know if I want to be throwing 10 years at the guy. I don't know.
No. All right. So what they got? What 3 more?
Does that game translate into when he's 33, 34?
Yeah. We got to see how he handles adversity going forward.
Yeah.
When he has a 10-game slump here, and see how he handles it. Does he fall to pieces again? You know?
And
Yeah.
a lot of his game is speed, right? I mean, he's
Oh, my God.
27, you said. I was like
Yeah.
33, 34. Does he slow down? You know, so I mean,
Of course
I
he
don't know how
does.
far out we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tim, on this one. Maybe 5 years tops.
But I don't want to trade him.
Tops.
I don't want to trade him now. He's too unique of a player.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
too
one. He's one.
exciting.
Yeah. Well, he's one we hold on to for sure. Something
Yeah.
to build around. You know,
Yeah. So he's one of the guys in the outfield.
he's a keeper. He's a keeper.
Yeah. And he ultimately goes to left field. So he's your left
Yes.
field.
Yeah, because Rafaela, we hope, will be a center fielder, not a shortstop.
Raphael is your center fielder, and then Anthony's your right fielder. And then after that,
And we have a homegrown outfield again. That's nice.
and then you can keep, Abreu. You can have this kid Montgomery ultimately come up, and be the fourth outfielder, and they switch DHs and stuff.
So you don't think O'Neill will hang on?
Oh, I want.
Oh no, he won't even be here next year.
I don't think he's going to be here next week.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, why would you keep him? What's the purpose?
He's not going to be here next year, so I know this drives Russ crazy because we need right-handed hitting, but if he's not going to be on next year's team, he's no good to us.
You can try to get a pitching prospect. This kid Sandlin, who just got promoted to Double-A, was for Schreiber, and they said this guy has plus.
Wait, can we hold on a second? O'Neill has 20 home runs this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's batting like 270.
Yeah.
Not too bad. That's not too bad.
No, he's been okay. I mean,
I'd say
look
that.
at
I'd
the
say
RBIs.
we're a little past the All-Star break, and he's got 20 home runs. He's on pace to hit 30, 35 home runs, right?
First of all, he's injury prone, Timmy. Second of all, how many RBIs does he have? You want to check?
38. He's got 38.
38. How do you hit?
Well, where's he in the lineup?
Well, he's usually like around fifth, sixth.
He usually hits after Devers,
He's got
so he's not hitting. He's not hitting in clutch situations. Then.
No, he just hits solo shots too.
Oh, I bet you 15 of those 20 home runs are solos.
They must be because he's only got 38 RBIs.
Yeah.
20 home runs, you'd think you'd have at least 50 RBIs right now, right?
Yeah.
No, in clutch situations with runners on the scoring position, he's very easy to pitch to.
But 30 home run guys don't grow on trees, though.
Yeah, and we do need right-handed bats because let's say you do bring up Roman Anthony, lefty. You bring up Mayer next year, lefty.
What kind of money is O'Neill making?
Yeah.
What kind of money is O'Neill making?
He's going to make big bucks. I think he probably makes like 12 now, and then
that's not really that big for MLB, right?
He's going to be a free agent after this year.
Oh, okay. So someone's going to want those 30 home runs, 35 home runs.
That's why you trade him now and see if you can get a pitching prospect.
Yes, maybe someone in the National League needs a right-handed home run hitter for the pennant race. Boom, there you go.
You're going to miss it.
Yeah. I won't miss him, but he's got value, I think.
Yeah. We agree, Tim.
If we could get a legit pitching prospect in a heartbeat, Scotty. But, he's got value.
I think so, but get rid of him. I'll forget he was on the team a week later.
He does have, we do need right-handed bats desperately, but
well, it's a great point, Joe. I mean, my ideal is Teal at catcher.
He's a lefty
at first. And Nick York at second would
keep
be
Wong because to platoon with Teal.
Yeah, Wong. Mayer lefty at short, Devers lefty at third, Duran lefty at left field, Anthony, like you said, right field lefty, and then Rafaela is a righty.
Cassis.
Yeah, I mentioned him.
He's a little lefty.
Just too many lefties in a lineup, and that's why they do poorly in Fenway Park. They have a poor record at Fenway Park.
Lefty's got to go a long way to get a home run in Fenway Park. It's 370.
Yeah,
to that bullpen.
Do you think our record's better if we're playing in Yankee Stadium right now?
Oh, geez, they look like the Yankees with so many left-handed hitters. And
great point, Timmy. I didn't think about yes. The answer. That's a great question. Yes,
they are the
absolutely. Well, look at Yoshida. Yoshida's salivating when he was in Yankee Stadium.
He's got warning track power at Fenway.
That was a bad pickup because Yoshida's not made for Fenway Park at all.
No, yeah.
You know,
The only home runs he gets are opposite field.
but he hasn't
Pokes it over the monster.
He doesn't try to take it opposite field, Joe, at all anymore.
When he does, he hits well.
I know.
Hits well.
But he's pull happy now.
Yeah.
What do you do with him? What do you do?
That's when he grounds into a double play every time he gets up, when he's pulling it.
We don't need him anymore. But you owe him for 3 more years.
You still got to pay him, yeah.
Can you get rid of him?
No one's going to take him unless someone needs a left-handed DH. And then he gets like 20 million a year, Scott. He doesn't get.
I know he does. And I don't think John Henry wants to eat any more contracts. I think he's going to be like the old-time Red Sox. They will
20 million is like.
Remember Jose Offerman couldn't play anymore, and they kept him on the team for a couple of years. He couldn't play at all and didn't want to play, but he was there playing because they were paying him.
Got to get their money's worth out of him.
Yeah, they didn't care.
That was one of the worst. Just play him because you're paying them, guys. In the Red Sox history, right?
Oh, I hated him so much. He was such a dog. He didn't even want to walk up to the plate. Yeah. It's like, can you just pass me over?
That's a football thing. There'll be 10 guys on the Patriots in that exact position. No good, but they pay them because the contract says they have to. Yeah. It's guaranteed money.
You see,
Tyquan Thornton's been on the team for years because of that.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, we'll go to the Patriots in a second, but we have to talk about the trading deadline. It's 6 days away. We'll start with Timmy. What do the Red Sox do?
Sell.
Well, no, okay. That's what Tim Hoey wants them to do. What do they do?
Sell. I think John Henry will try to dump money right now. If you ask me, like that's I think that's how he looks at it now. We're probably not. They're looking at a youth build. They're waiting for these young kids to come up, and he's watching every dime now. And I think anyone that he can get rid of that's carrying, that isn't part of the future, that's making a top salary. I bet their names are being buzzed on every phone line. Joe, trying to get rid of them.
Well, I think I'm with Tim as far as I think they'll make the commitment to sell. I think they'll be hesitant to do it for the backlash, but Kenley and O'Neill are prime. Kenley's not going to want to is not going to re-sign with the Red Sox. O'Neill is not going to re-sign with the Red Sox. They're not part of the future. Make them part of the past. They will try to buy or pick up some things, just to save face. It's not going to be just a fire sale type situation. They'll be like Heim did the last few years, a little wishy-washy at the deadline. Buy a little, sell a little.
Do you think Justin Turner and Paxton would be sufficient enough to keep the Wolves?
That sounds exactly what I'm talking about. They'll get some stuff on the cheap to mollify the fans, and while at the same time they're actually making the deals they really want to make out the other side with the dumping the free agents next year.
Now, my question to you guys is that you re-signed Cora. They had to have discussed before you re-signed, what are you going to do at the deadline? Had to have. Right?
When they're waving that kind of money around at him, do you think that's really a factor? Like Cora says, hey, I'm only going to stay if you're rebuilding.
His family's set now. His family's set now.
Yeah, Scotty, I think it was about the money, and I think he'll just manage whatever the heck they throw out there for him.
No, but don't. So you guys don't think that
he's made mention that now he has a seat at the table discussing personnel. Whether he does or not is a whole nother thing. I'm sure Breslow wants to keep that power to himself, but and Sam Kennedy and the rest want to horn in on that too.
You know what? So we're right on the cusp of a wild card spot right now, right? 2 games.
Yeah, I
Game
mean,
out, I think.
right? One
Yeah.
game. We're one game. We're one game out of the playoff spot.
I know, but it feels different though, doesn't it? It feels because it feels like, and we've talked about this before, they've kind of tapped out the pitching staff, and you're not going to get the performances that you've gotten all year. There's going to be a
Yeah, how Pavetta, they're all falling apart.
We all believe they really, really overperformed in the first half.
Yes.
yeah. And Timmy, you always talk about the back of the baseball card. This is going to work the other way. We usually talk about the back of the baseball card that they'll improve. This is they're coming back to
Revert to the mean.
Yeah, right, exactly. And you can already see with guys like Tierna, Houck, and Crawford, they're not the same pitchers that they were even in June, right?
However, though, if you look, there's a couple ways to look at this. Who's chasing the Red Sox? The Mariners, Tampa Bay, Detroit, and the Rangers, right? They're not very good teams. All we have to do is catch the Twins or the Royals. That's like doable.
Yeah,
It's not like we're chasing like some great team or something like the old days.
But what are we chasing for? So we can lose in a
Well, you hope you catch
Yeah.
lightning in a bottle in the
And
playoffs.
Tim,
I
just
don't
think
know.
of it. They'll charge us for all the home games possible, right?
Oh,
And
they
then they'll
will.
lose an away game to open, and they're done in the playoffs.
Why can't they do it like the Celtics and the Bruins? Pay as you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they used to do that, right? I don't think we didn't. No, actually, we did. No, actually, we did. We always had to buy every game, didn't we, Timmy?
I
Even
believe so.
back in
Yeah,
the
they
day,
just put
yeah.
it. They just put your money in an interest-bearing account all
But then
winter.
they would give you a
And they
big book.
probably won't play a home game, right?
No, okay, so they won't. So, there'll be a question whether they charge. That's a great point because it's a 3-game series and all the games are with the team or the highest seed, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right. So
With the division winner, anyways.
yeah,
What? So it would all be away games?
the first 3, the wild card games, yeah, and now it's the best out of 3. It's not.
Remember, it was a one-day game playing like the NBA.
You remember how much fun we had in 21 and we beat the Yankees?
Yeah.
In that game.
That's good.
What was that doing at home? I don't even remember. How did we get the home game?
I think we were the division champs.
Were we? We must
Were
have been, right?
We had to be ahead of the Yankees.
That was a crazy season. 'Cause-
You know, the Orioles didn't. Toronto and Tampa weren't that good. They must have been the division champs.
Oh my God. Is that all right? Now, Timmy,
It doesn't seem like it's possible, but
What year was that? What year was that?
21, not that long ago.
All right, I'm gonna check that. MLB
Yeah.
standings. All right. Really?
2020.
No, we were tied for second.
Okay.
And we must
Where
have
were the Yankees?
Second.
the Rays had won that. Remember?
Did we hit?
So we were tied with the Yankees, but we probably
in
had
a
the home-
tiebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah, we must have the tiebreaker. And then so then we beat the Yankees in that unbelievable game.
beat
And
the
is
Rays.
That was one of the loudest games I've ever
Yep.
been to.
Red Sox and Yankees were 92, both 92 and 70. And we must have beat them more during
Yeah,
the
we
year.
did,
Yeah, it
Is
used
that
to
the
be.
tie- is that
Remember,
the
that was the
tiebreaker?
19 games you played in the division back then.
Yeah.
So it's an uneven number.
And then we beat the Rays. The Rays just seemed
Yeah, we beat them.
they were like high
The
school
Rays had 100
kids.
wins that year. The Rays had 100 wins that year too.
Yeah, they were like high school kids, that team. It was remember they were all standing outside and
Except the center fielder you like there.
Kiermaier.
Yeah. He played well in that series.
He just announced he's going to retire after the season. He's made some big bucks for punch and Judy hitters. He's made like 72 million.
Yeah,
Who won the
always
World-
a 250 hitter.
Who won the World Series? The Astros that year?
Yeah, and we lost to them.
But
Yes.
remember, we were up on them, and we were ready to
2-1.
go up 3-1.
Yeah, yeah.
We were ready to go up 3-1, and it fell apart all of a sudden.
They just have
stopped
some,
hitting.
they
That
have some
Lars
superstars.
Diaz, that asshole umpire, made
Who,
that
was
call.
it
Yeah,
Evaldi
yeah,
or
remember
Pavetta
that?
that
Yeah.
he called that ball on?
Yep, and then the next,
He
pitch,
struck the guy out. He struck the guy out.
Yes.
and then the next pitch, he got a hit, and the floodgates opened.
Yeah.
And then, because that was the top of the ninth, and then had we gone to the bottom of the ninth, we would have figured out how to win. It was just that season. It was that type. Remember, it was Vasquez had a walk off.
Yeah.
You see, you wonder if Henry's looking at that, and like trying to recapture that.
Of course, he is on the cheap.
On the cheap, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So like that, like we talked about, that was the worst thing that ever could have happened.
It felt like it.
Because that justified behavior.
But it was
like
so much fun.
It was fun.
Oh my god!
But it was like fake fun. You know what I mean?
I don't know what that means, but
well, what I mean is it wasn't
fun.
You enjoyed it, but you didn't really trust it to be to last.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of guys like made deals with the Devils for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, let me be the greatest.
You love that lineup. You love.
Oh, I did, but they were. Kiki was like Babe Ruth. Kiki was like Babe Ruth. You remember he was hitting a home run every time he get up to bat. You know,
you were having an orgasm. Then
I loved it,
seventh.
I loved it, but it was a bunch of flotsam and jetsam thrown against the wall, and somehow they all had like a great 3 weeks.
Okay, you know so you had Schwarber first,
but they weren't their baseball card.
That was the big pickup, Schwarber at the deadline that year.
All I remember is Kiki playing like he was Babe Ruth for 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
He had like 8 hits in a row and all extra bases.
Oh, every time I get up, you thought he was going to hit a home run. Every time.
It's like he was playing wiffle ball. Like he was an adult and he was playing with kids.
It was incredible.
It was unbelievable. And
he was like that the other night for the Dodgers against the Red Sox too.
That like
he must get into like a mental state that's like a good place, and then he's just there briefly, and then something happens with his confidence.
He's had a nice long career, 10 years.
Yeah.
All right. Just so you know, we're going to go to. I was in the wrong Zoom account, so I sent you guys a link. So at some point, we're going to go to a new link to finish up the show. Okay, so you know,
whenever you say, whenever you give the word.
You're going to send a new link?
Yeah. Actually, let's because we're going to go to the Patriots. Let's end this part, and then we're going to go to a new link. You have a new link, and then we'll finish up with the Patriots and Bruins. We'll be back after this commercial message.